Very good evening. Welcome to another edition of Sky Blue Fans TV. Well, 2 games, 2 defeats, last 2 matches, and it's a bit of a downer, unfortunately, on a few people, especially yesterday's game against Ipswich in the FA Cup, where we perhaps could have performed a little bit better. I thought we went out on a bit of a whimper, I think. And we're here to discuss that tonight. FA Cup action. We're out the competition now after that fantastic run last year. It's not going to happen this year, unfortunately. And we're going to discuss that tonight, along with the QPR fan we've got coming on about 8 o'clock to discuss the very important game now on Tuesday night against QPR, which is vital, really, that we get 3 points and get back to winning ways after 2 straight defeats. Right, our guest tonight, let's bring them in. Claudio, good evening.
Good evening, Ken.
Good evening, mate. You all right? Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm just sucking on a fisherman's friend.
Okay, get that throat.
Oh, yeah, sorry, got a bit of a sore throat.
Yeah, we'll get that throat ready because you have plenty of questions, I'm sure, and comments tonight. And we've got Jack from the Lempton Warwick Supporters Club. Good evening, Jack.
Evening, everybody.
Good evening. Right. Okay. Let's start. Let's get on with it. I know it's been a bit depressing the last couple of matches after 4 straight wins, or 5 if you include in the Sheffield Wednesday FA Cup game. We come crashing down to earth against Leeds, didn't we, on Wednesday? And then to follow that up, yesterday we went out spinning out the FA Cup, losing 4-1 at home to Ipswich. Claudio, your comments on the team selection, really. Did he get it right? Was he right to make 4 changes, considering they made 11?
What was odd is when we actually forgot about the announcements of the team. I don't know why. I was too busy chatting in the concourse.
Yeah.
And let's have a look at the team, shall we? And when we saw it, we're trying to work out who was playing where to start with.
Yeah.
Because we looked at the names and we didn't notice De Silva. Because we thought, it's a flat back 4. And they thought, hold on a minute, De Silva's in the team. We went, oh no, Latty at right wing back. That can't be right, surely.
Yeah.
And straight away, I was with 2 or 3 friends, and we just went, not sure about this. I know you can say with hindsight and all the rest of it, but I could hear people then talking around us when they're looking at the team, thinking, not sure about this.
Yeah.
He hasn't got the pace to get up and down for a start. So I was surprised at that, really surprised. You got Jack Burrows back. I know he hasn't played too many games, but you're not.
I just thought it was an ideal game to bring him in, wasn't it? I thought you're going to bring him in.
It was the ideal game, but also it's something we've talked about. Squad depth and the limitations of our squad, and there's a classic example: the fact that we've got no cover for Milan at all, really. And the trouble with Jack is he's been away, and I mean he was on the bench for a while, wasn't he? Up in Scotland, I think, wherever he was.
He was, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean they made 11 changes. And they've got players in their team. I mean, that side, that 11 who started, if they played in the Championship, would be in the top 6 easy, if not top 2. So, But when you watch Plymouth today against the Liverpool team who made changes, you kind of think, I'm not sure we turned up yesterday, did we? So,
no, I don't think the players that came in did themselves any justice, did they? They can't go knocking on Lampard's door and saying I should be playing, because not after that performance, surely.
No, and I wasn't happy with the team lineup. I don't like it, the formation when he plays it like he did. I know we're going to talk about that in a bit, but the starting lineup, that wasn't for me at all yesterday. Okay,
good evening, Vic. How are you?
Good evening. Sorry, I'm late.
I'll come back to you in a minute. I'm just going to go to Jack and get his opinion on the team selection to start with. What do you think? Do you think he got it right, Lampard, or did you get it wrong?
Well, no. Of course he got it wrong. We weren't to know that before kickoff, but there's rotating a team half-arsedly and playing players out of position, and then there's rotating the team like Ipswich did. I know they made 11 changes, but they played an 11 that were in the right positions. We played centre-half who's in very poor form at right wing-back. Make it make sense. I don't get it. And Asante on his own up front, I mean... His first touch is poor. I know he's had a good run of form recently, but he has a poor first touch. He is not the man to lead the line. He's not I know. Clearly, he's supposed to be rapid, but he couldn't get in behind that defence. The balls to him weren't ideal. I'll be, for helping him, but he's not the man to lead the line on his own. He's not a striker to play on his own, I don't think. So, no, simply Lampard didn't get it right. But does it matter ultimately? I don't think it does.
No, I just thought, I thought if you're going to play one up front, then I just thought Sims would be the man to play up front on his own.
But with Norman Bissett, he must be livid. We're 2 goals down against Leeds on Wednesday, and Norman Bissett should be screaming to come on the pitch and at least try something different. And then when he didn't get a minute against Leeds, you're thinking, okay, I'm in line for a rotated squad against Ipswich. And he didn't start. So I don't know what he's doing wrong. I know he got a long run of games when Lampard first came in, only got the 2 goals, or one was under Reece Carr. But as a rotated team goes, he must be upset with not getting a game time last 2 games, I think.
Yeah. Okay, Vicky, how are you? You okay? You recovered from the defeat?
Yeah, although I think this coldness coming in, I feel like I got the cold.
Do you think?
I don't feel very well today, so with a better performance just to pick me up a bit.
What's your decision? How do you feel on the lineup? Do you think Lampard got it right, or was he right to rest a few players, or do you think he should have played his strongest team?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because I just caught Claudio saying when I sort of joined that the squad depth is an issue, and there's players like Milan has played so much football this season. You can understand giving him a break.
Yeah.
I don't think Lampard is the right man to give him that break. I mean,
no.
When you look at it, arguably, if you wanted to do that, and you bring in Eccles on for some game time, I think that he's probably shown that he could do a better job at right wing back than Lampard. So that would have been another option and probably something a bit better. But I think I don't disagree with resting players. I think it shows that we haven't got enough depth in some places, and we've been talking about that all season, so we knew that. I agree with Jack when I saw that the lineup included Asante up front on his own.
Yeah. So you're free.
Arguably top championship.
It's all right. You froze a little bit there, Vic. Say again. Sorry.
I was worried about Asante up on his own. I don't think that against a strong team like Ipswich, whether or not they're at the bottom of the Premier League or not, they've got a squad of players that is more than competitive in the Championship at the very least. And so Asante on his own, I was always worried that wasn't going to be enough. And so there were changes that I just thought were odd. But then equally, when we got to Norwich away, I thought we made more of a game of that. So you just never know, do you? It's easy on hindsight, isn't it, to say that was all wrong. But sometimes strange decisions pay off. So
unfortunately it didn't on this occasion. Claudio, defensive vulnerabilities, defensive lapses, poor start yet again.
Well, what can you say? Right, let's get this right. We've got 25,000 COF fads in there.
Yeah.
We've turned up yet again, even though some of them did turn up late, but they got in there eventually. We've turned up, and really, what an awful start. It's our kickoff. How can you, from our kickoff, 20 seconds later, give a penalty away?
Yeah.
That's absolute nonsense, isn't it, really? And I don't get this, where before they kicked off, we're looking at the way they line up. Bobby Thomas went over to the right-hand side of the pitch to have a word with Latty about something. And we were virtually about to kick off. And he was only just got back in position. When I think he wasn't even back in position. And they kicked it straight back to Dovin. He just launched it forward, which basically you're giving away possession straight away. Because we know we've got nobody up there who's going to hold it up. Jamie Allen loses it, trying to do some sort of flick pass over someone's head. They break. Our defence were that far apart because at the kickoff, they were still on the halfway line, most of them, and they went straight through us. The ball comes across, we all know what happens. Kitchen goes in. I would say 50-50. It probably was a penalty, but you see not given because it's so early in the game, and he gives the penalty. And for me, as soon as they scored that goal, I thought that could be game over, already. because I looked at their team, I thought we're going to struggle to get. I know we did get back into it eventually, well, quite quickly actually, but we didn't do much else afterwards, did we? Really to build on that. You know, I thought all in all that was very comfortable for Ipswich.
Yeah, I mean, it put them on the up straight away, didn't it? After that, you know,
I mean, the quality is just way. But I mean, they've spent millions. Let's get this right. They've got a guy in midfield who was part of the England squad only 2 years ago on £200,000 a week. You know, Philogene, great player. Jack Clark on the other side. I mean, Jack Clark. Every time he got the ball, you're thinking, "Oh, we're in trouble here." You know, just. I mean, also the goals we let in. They're all clumsy goals. It looked like before Christmas, didn't it? I thought to me. Lack of concentration. Why is Binks trying to play that ball out? Why don't he just clear it? Even with the second goal, yeah, nice trickery, but really no one's actually put a tackle in. You got a big crowd in there. Within the first few minutes, you need a shot on goal. You need a hard tackle. You need to get the crowd behind the team. It was flat, wasn't it, virtually straight away?
Yeah, you got a massive crowd like that. You got to. It's massively disappointing to go goal down like that. It sort of sucked everybody's, confidence out, didn't it? Really, straight away.
Yeah, you don't mind if you're losing at half time 3-1, but the other team is so good and you can't touch them. You know, but when they when we gave them the goal, we gave them the goals.
Yeah,
They were just idiotic mistakes. And I thought, and this is why I said before about how I'm convinced we won't get top six because we've got the same defenders that we've had for last season and they keep making the same mistakes. We cannot play it out from the back. They're not good enough to do that. So when you go long, and then we go long, and there's nobody at the other end to hold it up enough. So,
and we're not Man City, are we? We can't. We haven't got the players like that can play like that.
Some players don't come looking for it, do they? Either they start to hide. You know, screaming out for Matt Grimes, wasn't it? Really, but there you go.
Yeah. Unfortunately, cup side, yeah.
That's no way to start a match, was it?
No.
Basically,
no.
Yeah.
Jack, what do you think of the start? I know we were all a bit stunned, weren't we, when the penalty was given? But it was a penalty. No qualms about that. I think it was a penalty anyway. But we've seen them not given. But we're all.
Yeah, I mean, like Claudio mentioned, we were the defence was such a high line. It looked like Spurs were playing, didn't it? We were literally on the halfway line, hoof the ball up with Dovin, and then all of a sudden they're on a break. And you're thinking, this is a goal. And then, I was focused on the lad that was dribbling with the ball and putting the ball across the box. But when you glance over and just see Kitchen on top of a bloke who's on the floor, you just know it's a pen. You've missed the entire whatever happened, they're coming together, but you just know it's a penalty. And the ref gave it. I looked straight at the screen, 22 seconds. I just thought, cool, we're out the cup. In the moment, honestly. But I'm honest, after that 22-second madness, I think we actually looked like a better team until they went 2-1 up. Because we controlled the ball better. We weren't threatening the goal, but we controlled the ball. We were in their half. We obviously got the goal back, and all of a sudden it was a bit positive. And I said they're there for the taking because this isn't a team that play together. There was 11 changes. They've all obviously trained together for months on end, but they were there for the taking. I think they were a bit rattled that we got back at them quickly, but we did not capitalise on that. We you're supposed to have momentum after you score a goal, and we seem to lose all momentum. Let Jack Clark run down the left wing, or whoever it was that ran and played it to Clark. 2-1, and that was it again. Game over for the second time in the same game. Yeah. It felt like it was disappointing, but of all the games to have a bit of a defensive stinker in, this was the one that you kind of go, all right, fair enough. We had a stinker this game. At least it doesn't mean anything significant. If we do that against QPR or Sheffield Wednesday in the next week, then we've got a problem on our hands.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Whether it's lack of concentration or these players, Claudio was on about, lack of concentration and stuff like that in the back. They seem to be. We can't play it out on the back like Manchester City. We haven't got the players that can do that, have we? When we give goals away like that.
No, I mean, we're renowned for it now that the players give the ball away and teams counter us. Anyone with any pace, and we're done. You know, Bobby, as good as he is defending, he seems to be our best defender. His passing is abysmal. Latty looks scared at centre half, let alone at right wing back out of position. It's not easy for him playing out of position. So he tried. He tried. No, not at all. He tried, and you know, commend him for that. Fair play for giving it his all, but I just don't think he's at the level. And then Binks for the third goal. Like Claudia said, just hook it away, not try and make a cute little pass straight to their player. So
he tried to run it out, didn't he? It was weird. But with Latty, the problem is, I was saying to Luke, says he keeps forgetting he's playing right wing back because he kept going inside.
Yes. We noticed that.
He naturally went inside all the time. And Jack Clark must have thought, this is great, I've got 30 yards of space here, no one's marking me.
Well, they seemed to have acres of space, didn't they, every time they went forward?
Yeah, he forgot he was playing there half the time. I swear
even if you're... So he plays right centre-back quite a lot, right? If Milan's had to bomb up the pitch, you have to cover right-back. And he never, ever does that. He runs inside every time. He lets whoever it is on the wing take the time and get a crossing, or eventually just waits for Milan to come back, or waits for someone like Torp or Allen to cover him. So even when he's in a back three, playing on the right side, he doesn't cover the right wing back. It's not natural to him. He comes inside. So playing him as a right wing back was even more dangerous, I think, personally.
And I think it affects Sakamoto's game as well, because he's like... He didn't know what he was doing.
Sakamoto was playing right wing back, if you like. It was like we were playing a back six.
It looked very confused, and I think they capitalised on it. You know,
I'm just surprised. I know. I'm just surprised Frank Lampard didn't change it or bring make a change there straight away or early as possible, because we could see it weren't working, couldn't we? In the stands, there's no way it's going to work.
But there's still, all said and done, there's no excuse for not being able to hold up the ball and make passes. To Silva, the amount of passes where he couldn't put it 5 yards to the bloke next to him, even a couple even shorter than that. And you're thinking, what is going on today? I can't see what they can blame apart from themselves. And that's what's frustrating. You know, it's if we want to get further than where we are now, I mean, we can still get in the top six. You know, we can still do it because there's two places to play for at the minute. But I think that's as far as it will get. If we do, I can't see it going up. I just don't think we've got enough there now. And we're hoping players come back, but chances are you're going to lose a couple of players before the end of the season as well.
The problem is we're up front. We're very lightweight, aren't we? Which is the main, whether Sims plays or whether he's got to play two up front for me, because it doesn't work playing one up front for us, I don't think, at the moment. No.
Shall I do some comments, Ken?
Yes. I'm sure there's a few angry comments coming in.
All right, Paul Butterford, it seems we've lost our edge for a couple of games. Hope, but we don't have the quality to perform at the level to beat Leeds or Ipswich. I think it may be time to rebuild. We are not top six. Macca6 says, think fans need to be more realistic. We was in the game, even at 3-1. We didn't concede a penalty first minute of the game. It would have been a lot different. Trouble is, Macca6, we did. And you can't change that. That was our own doing. Assassins Unite, hi guys, 54% possession, 11 corners to 4 more shots off target. We played well. Individual mistakes cost us.
That's a point. 11 corners we had. There's a lot of corners there, but we don't take advantage of them, do we?
We did with one. Yeah. There's a lot of emphasis put on Radoni because he was doing them from both sides, wasn't he? We normally, when Torp's on it, they sort of switch it around a bit, don't they?
Yeah.
We're so much better when we do the in-swinger, I think.
I noticed Grimes, when he came on against Leeds, he takes the corners as well, doesn't he? So
he'll be the bloke taking everything, the kid who owns the football.
Yeah.
Assassins Unite says, we can still get top 4 with Grimes, Wrighty, Mason Clark and Sheaf to come back. Wayne Littlewood, evening, listening while on a 10-mile run. Keep me entertained. Really poor yesterday. Onwards we go. Ryan Matthew J. You could tell with the side being picked that Frank cares more about the league than the cup, and I don't blame him. got to fight for a playoff spot. Hopefully we'll get the win against QPR now.
Well, that's the gamble, isn't it? If it doesn't work, if we get beat again against QPR, then people are going to say, well, it's all gone downhill and it's fast. So it's an important game Tuesday night that we've got to get something out of.
Yeah, I don't think, for me, it's not so much the defeat, it's what we did to lose, basically. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't mind losing if we play well, get beaten by but we didn't really, I don't think we competed enough, did we?
It sort of, handed it to them, didn't we? Dark farts. Had we got Haji, EMC, Sheaf playing, we would have won. Should have played Sims. Gibbo, what the last two games versus top opponents highlights is that our defence lacks quality. Wasn't sorted last summer. 2 or 3 quality needed this summer. Glad we got a CDM now. Aaron Thomas, hi all. I said on an earlier show that we would cause us problems. It's sad only a few seasons ago, Ipswich were League One now. Look at the goal between us now. Formation again, I think was all wrong. Thing is, though, Aaron, they've spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
They've done what Luton didn't do, basically, to try and stay in the Premier League. And I still think they've got a chance of staying up.
Well, they have got a chance, yeah. Not over yet. Yeah.
I mean, you forget they got the leading goal scorer of the last year's championship playing in that team. I know he's been out injured, but he doesn't always start for the first team. Jack Clark's on the bench all the time. Philly Jean's on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Clark would get into our side, no problem, wouldn't he?
I mean, they brought on Nathan Broadhead, didn't they? I mean, these are nailed on first teamers last year.
Connor Chaplin didn't even play yesterday either, and his goal and assist turns last season in the Championship were unbelievable. I know he's not stepped up to the Premier League very well, but the returns last season say it all.
Yeah. Lee Beckett, Binks had a stinker. Latty isn't the right wing back. I actually thought Bobby Thomas was really trying hard yesterday. You could see he was rolled a few times. And it's just frustrating. Ian Plymlott, I'm not depressed, never expect anything from Leeds or Ipswich, both his squads worth millions more than us. Before I go any further, I must say hello to about 6 or 7 people who said hello to me yesterday. He said they watched the show and they love it. And thanks very much for watching. A shout out for Pep. He said, you won't remember my name. So I've been saying Pep all day. Pep, shook me head and Dylan.
Just sing Man City, you get Pep, don't you?
Yeah. And a couple who watch us who live, they actually said this is their link to all news about Coventry City because obviously they live far away. Yeah. And their local news ain't going to cover Coventry City basically. So it's that's nice to hear. And thanks very much. We really appreciate it. Tell your
it's amazing when you're out and about because we don't see the faces of people, we see the comments and people come up to you and say, oh, well done on the show, and that's the first time you've actually seen them face to face because they do comment on the show. So I know there's a lot of people out there. So
I keep thinking it's people I owe money to. Alan Toms, we fell off in the league because of the cup last season. Would have obviously loved an FA Cup run. Even all, Paul Hughes says. And Adam says, that's the same one. Totally different midfield on Tuesday. I hope so, Chris Foster. Kevin Quinn says, take a break. I don't know if that's true. If it's me, I will. Paul Stratton. Was Latty at right wing back? Because in the first half, Jack Clark had 20 yards every time he got the ball. Exactly, Paul. I think he was a little lost. Mick Davenport, evening guys. I expect to lose against Leeds and Ipswich. It's QPR we need to win against. Gary Anderson. I like Bint, but he's very overrated considering we have a better win rate when he's not in the team. I'd play Latty CDM and Eccles right wing back. Frank clearly didn't care either. GLB boxing. What the last 2 games have showed us is what the last 2 games have shown is how far off we really are. This squad needs a major upgrade to push on to the next level.
Yeah.
I think we all know that, to be honest. We probably didn't need that game, but we're optimistic, aren't we, that you hope we're going to get up to that playoffs. That's what's the bloody point,
Well, we're going to discuss whether we can still get what we think. I mean, we all made predictions at the start of the season. I think we were a bit off now. We keep changing them.
Yeah, and Thomas, we're not a fast attacking side because we don't play with rapid players. In the last two games, our wide players have been left backs. Yet we have Raphael on bench. Why not use Bassett out wide for his pace? Wayne Bruton says, bad day at the office. Back to bread and butter of the league. We move on. Bomber Bidwell, glad you're using your old name. Even though we needed the Bassett bite we saw at Sheffield United on Wednesday and Saturday. Both these games were written off quite soon due to Wednesday not turning up and Ipswich usual errors. Lamps too loyal. We'll do a couple more and we'll bring up that next point we're going to talk about. Mad Frankie, even though glad we're out of the cup, all that matters is the last 15 games with 3 big players coming back. Let's go for it. And I just hope that all the morale and confidence we built up doesn't get knocked by these 2 last games. And Paul Hughes says, how many of that starting 11 will still be here next season? Not many, I hope.
Well, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? What sort of players are going to leave in the summer? That's another subject, the whole programme of that.
So is this here, Ken?
Yeah. No, this is a question, yeah. And there's questions where all the people be out there. Put it on your comments if you want to send a comment in and we'll read it out. Or we'll try and read it out if we can get to it, hopefully. Can we still make a push for the playoff spot match remaining, Claudio?
Was that the question I put up?
That's the next one on the list.
It's...
up front, yeah. I mean, we discussed that a little bit, didn't we? But, well, we can do... I think we like way up front, yeah.
Yeah, but at the minute... Are we going 1 or are we going 2? That's the issue, isn't it?
I've got to go. I said earlier, we've got to go 2. I think we've got to go 2.
Yeah.
Jack, what do you think? Do you 2 or 1?
Most games we've got to go 2. I think Lampard made the mistake against Leeds that we should have started with 4 in like a diamond midfield with Matt Grimes in there and stuck Sims up top. And sort of tried to hold out more than anything. But yesterday, it's especially as it's a free hit and in every other league game, we need to play 2 up top. The upturn in form has come recently with playing 2 up top. I'll start with Cardiff away. We drew against 10 men. We should have won it. We had 2 up top. Norwich, we lost last minute. We had 2 up top. The 5 wins in a row, we played 2 up top. We're playing our best football with a back 5 and 2 up top. So why that was sacrificed yesterday, I don't know. And if it was, why has he not gone with Sims up top, who would be the best on his own?
Yes.
Or even just throw Bassett in, see what, Bassett's going to run around and make a nuisance of himself a lot more than Asante would have. Unfortunately, I think Asante is the worst of the 3 strikers to play on his own. So that was the mistake. Should be 2 up top.
I agree with you. As soon as I seen Asante's name on the sheet, and there's only 1 striker playing, I thought that's not going to work.
Yeah,
and it didn't work. And look, it's good, easy saying it isn't now. In hindsight, if it had worked, then we would have been saying, "Oh, great, great decision." Yeah. But I just couldn't see it working with the players we've got.
But even if it did work, it could have been a one-off. Things happen as a one-off all the time. Look at Plymouth today.
Well, exactly. Yeah. He's got to play. In my mind, I think the players we've got in our squad, we've got to have 2 players up front. I just think. Claudio, do you agree with that? 2 up front? I think you've got to go for 2, haven't you?
I prefer 2 up front. I just think you got 50% more chance of somebody else getting on the end of a ball or something in the box.
Yeah.
I think Sims on his own can't do it. I don't think. No. He doesn't cover enough of the ground. Bassett will, but it's a bit. I don't know. It's a bit mad.
We haven't got and we haven't got the support players like we did with Hamer and O'Hare, that get bomb forward all the time to support the front man, if you like. Jamie Allen, although he's played well the last few matches, he didn't get forward as quick as them 2 did he? And stuff like that. So I just think with the players we've got at the moment, we've got Grimes off to come back as well on Tuesday, and I know we've got a couple of injured players on the way back, but I just think with the squad of players we've got at the moment, we've got to play, in my opinion, I think we've got to have 2 up top.
Yeah, but when they were playing Hamer and O'Hare, you got Gyökeres who could hold a ball up.
Well, yeah, you got Big Vic as well. So that's. To be honest,
we didn't really get plays in the box then. We're getting plays in the box now with the midfielders, but when you got 1 up top, you need somebody who can really hold the ball up. And it's like been trampoline. Their control's terrible half the time.
Yeah.
All of them, not just Sims. They're all pretty shocking at keeping the ball at their feet, which really is worrying at this level. It's not great. I mean, there's a couple of instances where they go on a run and they kick it like it's kick and rush. It's a bit rubbish, really. And people say, "Oh yeah, he's held it up well. He's done this," but probably 2 or 3 times in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not constantly holding the ball up and shielding it. How often does he win a header, Sims, in the air? How often does he get up and bring it down on his chest and hold it up and fight off a defender? Doesn't happen very often.
He's the complete opposite from Big Vic, isn't he, really?
Exactly. Vic was like, "You're not getting this ball off me." He was hungry for it, wasn't he? And I just don't feel that with I'm not sure. Be interested to see when Haji Wright comes back, but he's going to take about 3 or 4 weeks before he's going to be anything like he was.
Yeah.
It's I just looked at their lads. Was it Hurst up front? And I thought he looked a bit of a handful. You could see it.
Yeah.
You could see we were worried about them. Asante on his own up front don't work. Should have been 2 up front. Should always be 2 up front as far as I'm concerned. That's how I feel about it.
All right. Well, we're going to come back to that other point. We're going to bring up about are we still good enough to push for the playoffs? We've got our QPR fan in the background. We can see we'll bring him in now. Javan, good evening. Oh,
you're on mute, I think.
On mute, I think. Hello? No, can't hear you. No. Oh. That little bit then?
No, it's not coming through.
No. Might be good to maybe go out and come back in, Javin, maybe. Log South out and come back in. And then we can come back to you. Yeah. Well, we'll come back to Javin in a minute. He's obviously got a few sound.
I've got a couple of things to talk about then while we wait for Javin to come back. What do you think to the new shirt then for the
our 4th kit?
Our 4th kit.
Well,
Jack,
I quite like it.
Jack's got it on, and there we go. We're just about to see it.
Brilliant, but
just about to see that.
Quite
blue.
Easily see ET.
Yeah. How much was that, Jack? 55 quid.
Yeah, same as all the others. But for a good cause as well. I'm sure
I thought, I don't know about you, but I thought they'd have something on the shirt about the charity that it's going to.
Well, it doesn't, I don't believe.
Even like a patch on the sleeve or something like that.
No, and you can pay for the normal editions as well. With the championship badge, whichever that side I think it is, and names and all that. It does have. I won't show you, but it does have "We'll live and die in these towns" just behind the back of the neck.
Colour, yeah.
Yeah, so like they had like in our Coventry homes and lines a couple of seasons ago, they've got "We'll live and die," so that's really good. And I think they all sold out as well, or the men's did at least yesterday.
Yeah, I was in a queue. I thought I was queuing up for tickets for Glastonbury or something.
Did you manage to get yours, Claudia?
Yeah, I got mine in the post. I got it. I thought I'd get one. I haven't got one this season, any of the shirts.
Yeah.
I actually went to the main shop before kickoff. Didn't have my size. They'd only got sort of large or small or 8XL left. And then I went to the new pop-up shop they've got in like the new fan zone by the Memorial Garden. Went straight and they've got XL, 2XL, hundreds of them. So it's like, yes, please jump in for that.
People forget about that.
And then about an hour later, I told a friend that's where I got it from. They went up, none left, literally none left in that pop-up shop. So it sold well.
The thing is, they said they're going to make a donation, so I don't know how much it is.
Yeah, it doesn't say. It's all sort of. They've got to announce that. If they're doing it for charity, they've got to announce how much they're giving them, surely.
Well, they might just give 10 grand or something, or not even that. Who knows? But anyway, I was thinking, have we ever won in the 4th kit? We lost a QPR on the white one, didn't we? Where Shipper scored that goal.
We've had a few. Yeah, we've had a few limited edition kits, haven't we? So I'm not sure if we've ever won in any of them.
I think we've lost in all of them.
Yeah,
we even lost in the two-tone kit where we never lost at home at St Andrews. We lost to Tranmere, didn't we? In the two-tone kit.
Right,
but we did win in that kit in a couple of games later in the season.
But the first time we wore it, we lost in it, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right.
But this one, I believe we won't see this. That was the only time they're going to play in that kit. Is that right? You won't be seeing them again in that kit. So
I think if we'd have won yesterday, we might have saw an appearance in the 5th round, because I think it's easier to get an FA exemption to change kits than it is the EFL. So I think had we have gone through, it might have made an appearance in round 5, but it won't now, I don't think, personally.
Never to be seen again in public, except from the fans.
Right.
Javin's back, I believe.
He's back.
Hello, does it work?
That's better. We're going to hear that loud and clear. How are we, mate? All right?
Yeah, all good. Thank you. You?
Yeah, not too bad. Thank you. Yeah.
We've had our annual 4th round weekend off.
Just have a little chat about our defeat in the FA Cup. I don't know if you heard a little bit about it, but anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on out of that, and we'll move on to Tuesday night's game, which is very important now, actually, because we've had 2 defeats on the trot, so we need to bounce back. How about QPR's form then? Their recent form. What's that been like?
In the most recent form, we lost 2 consecutive games, a bit like you guys did. We lost to Sheffield Wednesday at home, where we were out-fought, out-muscled. Then we lost away at Millwall, maybe a little bit unfortunate. And we're really good at going on these awful runs of form where you lose 5 or 6 games in a row. But we turned it around on Tuesday night against Blackburn, probably one of our best performances of the season. So I think it's about 2 defeats in 12 or 13. So pretty good form. A bit like you guys, really.
Yes, I mean, we had like 4 wins on the trot, on the bounce, and then I think 5 if you include the FA Cup game. And then obviously we played, in my opinion anyway, and I think in most of people's opinion, the best team in the league, Leeds, on Wednesday. They looked far superior than us. And then we went out of the FA Cup on Saturday. So I don't know if you played Leeds. Have you played Leeds yet?
We played Leeds away. We were in dreadful form, but they're the only one of the top 4 that have beaten us. And it was men against boys. It was only 2-0, I think, but it could have been 5 or 6 if they really, really wanted it. And they're by far the best team that we've played as well. Yeah.
Which of the players within your squad then do you think will trouble our defence?
Well,
we've got to look out for.
The manager made a slight change against Blackburn. Ilias Chair, who's been our best player for the last five or six years, he's been stuck out on the left, and he's really, really isolated out there. Doesn't get involved in the game. And on Tuesday night, he brought him central, and it was by far his best performance of the season. He was involved in everything, linked up really well. I would have thought he'll carry on playing him there, and he's probably our danger man. Looking at the other night, but on kind of form throughout the last 10 or 15 games, Paul Smith has been brilliant on the right wing. Mitchie Frey up front, when you see him up front, he looks like the clumsiest striker you're ever going to see, but actually he's quite effective. He closes down brilliantly. He's our top scorer with six goals. Not amazing, but he was out for about 3 months, I'd say, so it's not bad when you look at that. And we've got a Japanese winger, Koki Saito, who's been unlucky not to get a start really, but he started against Blackburn again and was outstanding. So we've got players that can cause problems, I think.
Do you think your manager will switch formation? Do you stay in the same formation, or do you normally switch about different games depending on the opponents?
That's the big question. On Tuesday night at home, he changed it for the first time by playing kind of the 3 behind a striker, whereas he's been a little bit more cautious. So it'll be interesting to see in an away game if he carries on that way, or if he reverts to the 3 kind of more defensive minded players in there. I feel that we're safe now, so I feel that he'll kind of want to win games now. There's nothing to lose, is there really? 6 weeks ago, we thought that we were in a relegation fight, and now we're 4 points off the playoffs. So
very similar to us. Yeah, very similar to us, to be honest. I mean, are you seeing it as a 6-pointer, as we're right sort of next to each other in the league?
Yeah, I think if you had looked at this game 6 weeks ago, it would have been a 6-pointer in a relegation fight.
Yeah.
Now suddenly
6 points to get in the playoffs. Yeah.
Both teams are going to be thinking, if they win on Tuesday night, the way Blackburn are playing, Borough are playing, Bristol City are playing, if you win on Tuesday night, then you're going to be 1 or 2 points off. And with your history recently of getting into the playoffs, that experience could be huge. So I think it is a bit of a 6-pointer in the fact that whoever loses, I think, can pretty much kind of just look at this season now as being a kind of mid-table season. But whoever wins will really, really fancy it, I think.
Yeah, I think a point's no good. We don't. You have to go for 3, don't you? Really, to try and get above, especially if you're playing a rival, somebody that's there or thereabouts in the league next year. You've got to really try and get a bit of a springboard on them, haven't you? And try and get 3 points.
And then we've got Derby at home on Tuesday night, which again on current form looks like one that we should win if they get a new manager, and who knows. But it could be a really, really big week for us. I think one that they'll look at possibly ending up in the playoffs or just outside by Friday.
There's no easy games in this league. We found out that when we played Derby at home, we lost, unfortunately. I think that's their only away win of the season so far, isn't it, Claudio?
Yeah, it is. And Mark Robbins got sacked in the morning.
You got any questions for Jared?
Yeah, well,
have the Coventry fans come round to St Lampard now? Is there a bond forming? Because there must have been a little bit of kind of
there's a lot of shock. I think a lot of people didn't expect it, to be honest, and I certainly didn't. And I think the rest of the panel will probably agree with a bit of a shock when it happened, but it's a results business at the end of the day, and the results weren't there. And Claudia will tell you we had a poor form. We were going in very poor form. We didn't have many wins under the belt, really, stretching back. And I know Robbins did what he did for us, and we're always grateful of what he did for us. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that we didn't know about. He fell out with the assistant manager and certain players and this, that, and the other, and that we found out about, obviously. And he was struggling when the assistant manager went. He was struggling to do the job on his own, I think. And I think the decision was made to get rid of it. And it weren't my choice weren't my first choice for Frank Lampard, certainly not. But and a lot of people thought the same. But you got to give him a chance, and he's doing okay, Frank, at the moment. He's doing a fair job, and hopefully he'll continue.
Yeah, I think, Javin, it was a case of, I think most people thought Mark Roberts was in danger of losing his job because the results weren't good. Our home form was shocking, without a doubt. No one can deny that. But to be honest, because we didn't really expect him to go, nobody really had anybody in mind. That was the problem.
Yeah, there was no time.
So when he was sacked, it was like, well, okay, who is it then? Frank Lampard was made favourite out of nowhere. So you kind of think this is interesting. Then all these other names were thrown in. And I mean, in the end, we will never know if it's the right decision, will we? You just don't, because you don't know what's going to happen in 15 games' time. If we don't make the playoffs, we probably wouldn't have made the playoffs with Mark Robbins anyway, but we wouldn't have gone down anyway. So I don't know what Jack thinks.
Yeah, I mean, we were all shocked at obviously losing a manager for 7.5 years. He was the third longest serving manager in the Football League, I think, at that point, maybe fourth, including the Prem. But the timing of it was the shocking bit. We just won 2 games in a row prior to Derby, and we looked like we turned it around. And then one shock defeat against a poor side, and he's gone. That was the timing of it was the shock. If that form had carried on for another month or two, I think we'd have all saw it as a potential. But it sounds like we've really rallied behind Lampard. There's obviously a lot of talk on Facebook and things before the manager was signed about who we all prefer. But no matter who you prefer, you've got to back your manager, whether you want him or not. It could have been the worst. We could have got Russell Slade back, and we all know how much that would have been a disaster. But we'd have supported him, because after the ride we've been on, we know you have to support a manager, and we did for 7.5 years very successfully. And after games, we get you get players running up and fist pumping Lampard's joining in with that now. So he's taken to the fans, and we've taken to him. So we've bonded with this manager, and we're on a journey with him, and we will back him.
It's a bit like QPR. I think as a new manager, Coventry's a club that's easy for a manager to fall in love with really, really quickly. If that makes sense, there's a lot of history, a really good core support. So I'm not surprised that Lampard seems so into it. But because when we played you before, I think that was a time where Marty's name was being bandied about as being on the brink of being fired. And I think we played you guys in Coventry, and we drew both games. And I think if we had lost those games, I think the board may have panicked and changed, but thankfully they stuck with him. And
do you think he's the right man for the job? Your guy is in charge now.
Yeah, I never want him to leave. He can never leave us. Yeah, he's been fantastic.
Compared to us, you've had a few over the years, haven't you?
Yeah, we've had no stability whatsoever. We had Mick Beale, who lasted 3 or 4 months, and we had Neil Critchley, who lasted 12 games. Gareth Ainsworth lasted just over a year, maybe less than a year. So it's been ridiculous. And I would say our biggest concern is that as soon as a team bigger than us loses their manager, they should be looking at him, because him and Danny Roll, I think, are the two kind of championship managers where there's going to be bigger clubs after them soon.
How's Ilias Chair playing? Because obviously he's a talent. When the transfer windows come round, you always get some of our fans saying, "Oh, that's somebody we should go for." Is it a player you can afford to lose?
So he started the season injured. He got injured in a pre-season game. We didn't see him till about October, I think it was. And then he played 2 or 3 games. Didn't really look sharp. Got injured again. And then we were in such bad form, they rushed him back. So it's not been his best season by a long stretch. Part of that's down to fitness. I think he really has been stuck out on the left wing, and he's best when he's involved in the game all the time. On Tuesday night, he played central and had his best game. There's always talk that he'll leave, but at the end of the transfer window, he signed a new contract. I think it's 3 years, but the club don't let on how long contracts are anymore, which is ridiculous. But so he's with us for the long term now. I think. I think he's 2 years off a testimonial now, which in today's day and age is pretty rare. Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. So what's turned around then? What's been the change this season? Because I've got a very good mate of mine who's a big QPR fan, and we send messages all the time. And he was taking the mick out of me, obviously, a few weeks back, and now he's gone very quiet because you lost your last 2 games, I think. So what's been the turnaround?
Up until December, we hadn't won at home. We just didn't even look like winning at home. We had lots of injuries, similar to you guys last season, I think, when you just had a horrendous injury record. So we had key players out that we just couldn't replace. New signings we made in the summer didn't settle at all. Some of them still haven't looked like they're ready for the championship yet, but some of them took 2 or 3 months really to kind of settle in. And it got to a point where in most situations with a form that bad, a manager would have made changes to the team, but because we had no one in backup, he had to stick with those that were playing badly, and they kind of almost played themselves into form. We had a couple of big wins in December against Cardiff and Oxford, and if anybody watched those games, they were 2 of the worst games I've ever seen at this level, honestly, and we kind of sneaked wins in them both. And then once you get that momentum in this league, you kind of can go on a good run. I think we've won 6 out of the last 7 at home now, considering that we hadn't won in the previous 7. And I think players like Jimmy Dunn and Paul Smith and Steve Cook, they don't give up. So I think having those kind of characters has made a massive difference as well. So they kind of just had to play their way out of bad form.
He went off against Millwall, didn't he, Steve Cook? Is he injured, or was that just...
So he was out for about a month and a half since December. and he came back against Millwall. I think that was his first game back, so I think he was really, really rusty, but played really well on Tuesday night against Blackburn. And we've got also centre back that we signed on loan from Southampton, Ronnie Edwards. And
Right.
if I said there's one player to keep your eye on Tuesday night, it's him. He is a young lad. Southampton signed him from Portsmouth in the summer, where there were quite a few big clubs after him, I think, and he can't get in their team. And we signed him on loan, and they say never fall in love with a loan player, but we've already fallen head over heels in love with him. And it's one of those where you just know that he's too good for this level, and there's no chance that we're going to sign him in the summer. But he was man of the match against.
We fully understand that because we fell in love with O'Hare, Gyökeres, Sheaf. We signed them all though. That's been good for us.
Yeah, name the amount that we didn't sign after loaning them in.
So your season, well, our seasons have mirrored each other really, because
really similar.
We got a couple of wins in a couple of games that weren't particularly great to watch, but we managed to get the wins. And everyone says fine margins, but that's what it is, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So we're going into the game, aren't we? Level on points. You're -5, I think, to our -1 or something like that, or something like that. So this has got draw written all over it, hasn't it?
I don't know. I think both teams are going to want to win it. I don't think a point really is going to help.
It won't help anybody, but it looks like a draw all over. I'm sitting on the fence already.
So last season you beat us at our place, didn't you? And then we beat you on the last game of the season.
Yeah.
Yes.
With rubber. Yeah. And then it was a draw at our place this season, wasn't it? That wasn't a good game.
No.
So it could go either way, couldn't it? It's one of them, isn't it? But
yeah.
Well, what would you say? Do you think you got enough to beat us?
Well, I think the difference between maybe us and the other teams in the playoff race, like Norwich, I think Norwich have got someone like Sargent, where in a tight game he gets one chance, he'll take it. I think that is what we lack, and I think that's what's going to be the difference between us and some of the other teams. I think for you guys, if you get Haji Wright back fit for that last 10.
Well, we've got Haji Wright, we've got Ben Sheaf, and we've got Mason Clark, who's out. Them three major players, and they normally start every game.
And they would get in most championship teams. Sheaf has been the outstanding midfielder for the last couple of seasons.
And Matt Grimes as well now. We've just signed. So
Matt Grimes, we just signed, and he didn't play on Saturday because he's cup tied, so he should play on Tuesday night now.
We played Swansea on Boxing Day, and they absolutely destroyed us. And since then, their form has been awful. But on that day, honestly, they're the best side I've seen. They were 3-0 up in 25 minutes, and he was the best player on the pitch by an absolute mile. He is a fantastic midfielder. So again, if I'm sure that he'll start on Tuesday night, and he's already proved against us what a great midfielder he is.
Yeah, we're looking forward to him. We need him in there ASAP, really, because it's a sort of missing piece of the jigsaw, if you like. We need that sort of play, especially with Sheaf being out. We need that type of player in.
Is he back soon, Sheaf? Is he back soon?
Oh, well, he's a few weeks away, I think. Yeah, he's probably maybe another month. I don't know.
Is your running easy or difficult? Or?
It's not too bad, is it?
I actually think we've got one of the best run-ins going. I haven't looked at every individual team, but the only two teams we've got away that are above us are Sheffield United and Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
We go to Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday. Every other team we've either that are above us or in the playoff race, we either have played already or we play at home. The away games we've got are the bottom four. So in theory, they should be four of the easier away days to go to. Yeah. Plymouth, Luton, Derby, Hull. Stoke as well, who were down there and just about finding some form with Mark Robbins. Hence why I think we've got one of the easier run-ins, because everyone above us we're at home and everyone below us we're away. So
we've got Leeds at home, Sheffield United at home, Burnley at home, Sunderland away, West Brom away, Middlesbrough away. So
you're saying where you are
running. Yeah. I think it's nice to have those big games at home, the Leeds and Sheffield United games. I think will give them a good game. But I think, again, looking at the run-ins, and I think statistically on league position, we've got the hardest out of all of the teams in the top 12 of that.
But you never know, because there are some strange results, isn't it, as the season unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody on their day in this league, as we all know.
Like last season, who would have thought we'd beat Leeds 4-0 in that penultimate game of the season? So you never know.
Yeah, we beat Leeds at home last year, but then they absolutely hammered us the other night. 2-0, but it could have easily been 4, maybe 4 or 5 because of the way they played. So, okay, let's go for some predictions then, shall we, chaps? We'll go to you then first, Jared. What do you think? An away when you're going for, or are you sitting on the fence?
No. I think I'll go exciting 2-2 draw.
Oh, 2-2. Okay, fair enough. Jack?
I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say a 2-1 win. I think we'll pick up the bit of form that we've had prior to the Leeds game. Hopefully the confidence isn't down too much from Leeds and Ipswich, and I think if Lampard can get us motivated, I don't see why we can't go on another little run. 2-1 to us.
2-1. I'll be happy with that. Claudia, I know you're going to sit on the fence. I can tell by your glasses the way they're shaped.
He's just said we're going to draw, but now he's going to say we're going to win.
I reckon we're going to score a shed loads of goals.
0-0 then.
Yeah, and we'll all be saying, "Where's that come from?" We knew it was going to happen. It's about time we've beaten somebody with a load of goals. I think we'll draw. I do. I think it's going to be too tight. We're still fragile as a team. I don't care what people think. We are still fragile, and we still make too many mistakes. And QPR are similar. I think we're both in a similar state. And whoever wins this game could go on that run, but I still think it's going to be a tricky game. And I mean, like Javed says, it could be 2-2 quite easily, because I think both teams are prone to mistakes. So there will be goals, but I think there'll be a draw.
Okay, I'm going for a home win. I'm going to go for loads of goals as well. I think we're going to just pinch it 3-2. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think there'll be plenty of goals because I know we normally concede.
So hold on. Sorry, Ken. We said for the last sort of hour that we struggle to score a lot of goals because we don't have anyone clinical.
Yeah, but
I'm a QPR fan that's just come on that says we struggle to score goals because we don't have anyone clinical, and you've gone for a 3-2.
I've gone for 3-2.
Work that one out.
Well, because I'll tell you why. Because Matty Grimes will be playing, and we'll be a bit more solid, and I think we'll create a few more chances, and I think we'll play 2 up front.
More solid, but still concede 2.
Yeah, I think we'll play 2 up front, and that makes a difference.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll
go with that.
I think what we've found in those 2 games that we lost recently, we conceded in the first minute against Millwall, which is never a good thing at that ground, especially. And Sheffield Wednesday was 0-0 for about an hour, and whoever scored first in that game was always going to win it. So I think if we concede first, I don't think we'll have enough to come back and win it. I think if we score first, I think we've probably got enough to kind of run of it.
You just sound like us. Exactly like us.
It's a fragile mindset. That they are really, really fragile still, even after that good run.
How about supporters? How many fans you bring in to Coventry on Tuesday night?
I think they've sold over 1,100 at the moment.
Okay.
We've had some brutal travelling. On Boxing Day, we had Swansea, then 3 days later had Norwich away, and then recently we had Plymouth away on the Saturday, and then Hull away on the Tuesday night. The fixture schedule was mental.
That's a lot of mileage.
Yeah, it's a lot of mile for the yeah.
I think this day and age, any club takes more than 1,000. They're doing well, to be honest, for an away game.
So yeah, and
it's not cheap.
QPR, the cost at QPR for away fans is 38 quid, which is. For the facilities that you get there as well, it is mad. Like I say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been going on for this. I think there should be a cap. I don't think any team should pay more than 30 quid max.
No, yeah, very, very highest. Yeah.
And also, if you're coming from London, you add an hour onto your journey, no matter where you're going.
On coach, yeah.
It's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, it's because Ipswich bought, fair play to Ipswich, on the FA Cup they bought nearly 5,000 fans on Saturday, which was fantastic. Yeah, I mean, we had a 30,000 like gate, 30,055 the gate was, which is fantastic. Then that was great support from them.
You keep talking about this FA Cup fourth round, but I don't know what that is in QPR fan. I don't.
Well, unfortunately, we had a great run last year, and it's come to an end this year, so we're all a bit sad. But we hope to make up for it on Tuesday night.
We only learned what the fourth round was last year. So
I mean, it was only our semi-final ever in the FA Cup, so last season. So it's not like we do it all the time. We normally are absolutely pants, if we're honest, in the FA Cup.
No one's been knocked out in the third round more than QPR.
Really?
So there we go.
It'd be funny if we're the second most, wouldn't it?
I think Ipswich are really high up there actually.
Well, Maidstone did them last year.
Yeah, that's right. They did. Yeah. So.
Well, amazingly, we've played QPR, I think, 129 times over the years. I think they're ranked third or fourth in the amount of games against a single team. And we're just leading the way 51-46 at the minute. So
a little bit of a gap.
It's normally we win at home and they win at their place. Neither side normally travels that well, normally. So
have we won 2 out of the last 3 at Coventry? We won last season, and we won in the last minute when the game was stopped because of the medical emergency with the steward, and there was 12 minutes added on at the end, and Albert Adoma scored in the last minute, 2-1. One of your guys, Shipley, I think, scored a brilliant goal. He scored.
Yes, that's right. Well, that's hopefully
that was in our fourth kit.
Was it?
Are you sure that was a fourth kit, not a third kit?
It was not. It's the fourth kit. It was the one with the what's it design on it?
Yeah, it was the two-tone V2. I think that was a third kit, but
whatever.
We were talking about kits, Javid, earlier. I don't know how many kits QPR have got, but we've now got 4 because we played in a one-off special on Saturday in the FA Cup, which Jack's got on here. This Navy one. We're never playing it again. It's only the one-off. This is for charity thing. Did you change kits a lot, QPR, or you just got the 2?
We've got 3. We've got 3, and we've got a gold kit that we haven't won in yet. So if we wear that on Tuesday night,
you'll win it. If you wear it, you'll win.
You talking about Derby? Their only away win being at Coventry.
Yeah.
I read a stat the other day that they've got a player that is, I think, 4 games away from playing the most games in the Championship without scoring. So if you've got any money, put it on him to score on Friday night against us, because you sound like us. It's the kind of thing that's written in the stars.
You even talk like a Cov fan. I like it.
So you playing Friday, are you? You live game Friday?
Yeah.
You ain't got much of a break then, have you?
No, I suppose it's like playing Wednesday, Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, so you got the weekend off. Yeah.
And it gets me out of going out for dinner for Valentine's Day. So keep a night out.
Well, actually, we played Millwall on Valentine's one year, and I said to my wife, I said, my son's going out with his girlfriend. Do you want to come to the game? She went, no. So I took my mate instead.
we played you Valentine's weekend one year. I don't know how many years ago, 15 years ago or something. And I treated the wife to a day in Warwick, and then we went to Coventry and we lost 1-0, one of the worst games of football I've ever seen.
But Warwick was nice, wasn't it?
Warwick was nice, yeah, but the game wasn't.
Right, okay then. Well, we won't keep you any longer then, David. We'll thanks very much for coming on.
No
Appreciate
problem.
your time. We all, of course, wish you the best of luck throughout the season after Tuesday night, obviously.
And we'll see you at the playoff final.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
We'll get you back on as a preview.
Yeah, that'll be 0-0.
Javan, that was 15 years ago.
Was it 15 years ago? Yeah, I think that's
2010.
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah. Who scored?
Freddie Sears. No, he didn't score. He scored. Yeah. No, I've got it here. No, Gary Deegan.
Oh, Gary Deegan scored for Cov.
Yeah.
Remember him? Yeah, 50. Doesn't time fly, eh?
And then I came about maybe a couple of years before that, and it was 0-0, a Tuesday night game, and again it was like a wet, cold Tuesday night game. That must have been about 16, 17 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow. You must have been confident. You had Tarat on the bench.
Yeah. Must have been confident.
Oh dear.
Anyway, good luck to you guys as well after Tuesday.
It's been a pleasure, mate. Thanks very much, and the best of luck after Tuesday night. All the best. Cheers, mate.
Take care. Bye.
Right, check through these comments, I think, Ken.
You've got loads of comments piling up, Claudia. You're getting behind.
I'll read as many as I can.
Yes.
Forgive me if I don't read them all, but everyone can see them. And we will start. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Their season, it's just mirrors ours, isn't it? It's virtually the same. Graham Cockrell says, "Please, please, please, we need Grimes to start on Tuesday." Or as Morrissey once sang, "Please, please, please, give me what I want." Basically. Mick Davenport, we need a completely new defence in the summer.
We said that last year.
Yeah, it probably needs tweaking. I don't think everybody needs to go. Mark Patman, evening guys. Well, all I can say is I wish we had tried on Saturday with the heart of Plymouth. We gave Ipswich too much space on Saturday. Sad, I call that performance. Latty's best position is in the stands. Too slow and tactical, unaware from Mikey. Ben Green. I thought it said Bell Green. I thought the whole of Bell Green's commenting here. Ben Green, evening all. I thought it's somebody from Bell Green commenting. I'm just going to agree. Evening all. Yesterday was abysmal. Fullbacks just completely killed us. Gave them acres of space. Got to Silver having a shocker and jogging back. No urgency or fight was on show yesterday. I just think we looked a bit confused. Aaron Thomas, I think Tat's game has gone backwards this season. He never runs at fullback, just passes backwards. Last two games, we've embarrassed ourselves. Glenn Watkin, it wasn't that bad when you realise Ipswich made numerous changes, which include two England internationals, an Irish international who was Championship top scorer, two wingers who were arguably the best in the Championship last season. Dave Granigan, our biggest problem last two games that we were playing it way too high up the pitch. With the pace they had, it was just silly. Frank didn't learn from it. I mean, that's what my Everton mate said. He said, be prepared for not defending very much. So I think we're seeing it, actually. We're sort of Postecoglou part 2, I think, not quite part 1. Colin Brownfield, we can see De Silva was not good enough at playing on the left. Mikey says, we can't pin all our hopes on one player, Grimes. I am. It's more Hi Patterson in, please. He and Haji could be exciting up front.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. We haven't heard much about that, have we? I think Frank gave a hint that he was going to sign him, but nothing's happened yet. Possibly a signing to the end of the season, I don't know.
Well, if they've done it by now, surely. I don't know what we're waiting for. Mad Frankie, all the goals conceded v Leeds and Ipswich were mistakes. 2 new CBs, as Plymouth signed, done a job today. Hainsey, why 2 goalies on the bench? Where are the under-21 players? Mikey reckons we needed 2 or 3 more players in the transfer window. Opportunity missed again. David Beercroft, if we had to draw a line under the season right now and vote for player of the season, who would you honestly go for?
Oh, that's a good question. Who would you go for, Claudia?
Oh, it's a hell of a question, isn't it? Because
season stops now.
Jack, you go first.
Honestly, it's so hard because if you'd have asked me when Robbins got sacked, I'd have said Josh Eccles. He'd come on leaps and bounds. If you'd have asked me on New Year's Day, I'd have said Efron because he's been unbelievable. But they've both had form for a period and then disappeared. Jack Rodoni would be my answer. I think he's had 13 goal contributions, all competitions, which is our highest. And I think he shows he's got ability above everyone else at times, and we need to get him more involved in games.
I think you're right there, Jack, because me and Luke were talking about that, and we're saying that a lot. He seems the most positive on the pitch, on the ball as well at times.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting that if Matt Grimes starts the rest of the season, that he's such a good player. Hopefully, performs for us. He ends up with player of the season. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? It'd be like the signing of the year, wouldn't it? But,
I'll probably agree. I'll say Rodoni as well, to be honest. Yeah.
You're just copying me.
Yeah.
You beat me to it, Jack.
It makes the show go on quicker, you see. Just agree with everybody. Glenn Watkin, on a side note, why on earth name 2 goalies on the bench when we've got other outfield players to select?
I know one of the goalies went out on loan, didn't he? Gone somewhere. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so Bidwell missed out on the squad. I don't know if that was a last-minute decision, hence why we had 2 goalies. We also had Sandiford Jr. on the bench. Obviously, Ryan Howley could have been on the bench, but wasn't. He played Monday night.
He was there, though, because we saw him pull up in his car.
Yeah, he played Monday night for the under-21s, 3s, 2s, whatever the age bracket is. So maybe that's why he was excluded. Maybe he's going to be more of an under-21s player to keep his fitness going. So that's my theory.
Gary Anderson says eventually we'll be 4-3-3, which could work with Grimes. Haji Wright had his best spell for us left wing. He could make us look like a completely different side. Mick Davenport says individual mistakes have cost us all season. It's just not good enough. James Locke, don't forget we had to play 3 games in 7 days, and they hadn't played for a week. It's a good point, James.
That is a good point, actually. Yeah.
Marky Boy, one up front just doesn't work with Sims, Asante, or Bissett. Might be possible with Wright, but needs EMC and Sakamoto. MEB to swing a few in the centre. Come back, Vicky. We love you, says Coventry. She's having trouble with her internet.
Unfortunately. Hopefully, she'll. I'm not sure she can get it connected in time. But
she's put some comments on.
Yeah, I've just seen her. She's gone for Rodoni, I think. Hey, hold on. Yeah. There it is. Rodoni.
Well, top of the middle of table 6 deck. Possibly on our day, we need a Nikola Katic type from Plymouth. That's the guy who had a decent game, didn't he, today? Yeah. Colin Bramfield says Lampard said in his interview he had to rest players as we got a small squad.
But he played all 4 of our centre halves.
Yeah. Glenn reckons you got to remember we started that game probably without 9 players who'd likely start regular for us. Bidwell, Milan, Grimes, Torp, Grimes, Sheaf, Wright, EMC, Sims. Watching Birmingham, says Wayne Brewerton. They will be the same as Ipswich. Go straight up. We need major investment in our squad just to compete in the Championship next season.
Yeah, I must admit Birmingham did look good the other night against Ipswich, but against Newcastle, sorry. They look quite good.
I'll read this out because I like this. Trevor Merriman agree with the other viewers. You guys are the best Coventry City podcast show. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Trevor.
I always said Trevor's a great guy. I've always liked him. Finn, I think it'll be Birmingham looking for Premier League promotion rather than us next season. They look strong. We look a little weak. The thing is, though, that Stansfield could get poached by somebody. That's how it works.
What, 15 million for a League One striker?
Yeah, people pay it. They pay stupid money, don't they? Paul Stratton thinks it's time we go back to back four middle, back to the high press. If you're not more aggressive, we'll miss out. BTA touch like an elephant.
Just Claudia, there's one there. Vicky's just come on. Apparently, the 2 goalkeepers, just because we had to replace Bidwell from the team sheet, and Ipswich would only agree basically to another goalkeeper. Don't know how much is that true.
So my guess was right then.
You were right, Jack. Yes, you were right. So cleared that up.
Quinn, 1 up top is a no-no. Doesn't bring anything but hard work for the lone strikers for making playoffs. Yes, if all injured players are back. Mikey thinks it's not realistic to get to the playoffs. Gibbo, to make the playoffs is still possible, but I can't see it. Need 10 wins minimum from the last 15 games. Our atrocious start to the season will cost us yet again, but I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, because take away the Leeds game, the form in recent weeks has been fine. We've said that already. The points we've got. What's cost us this season so far is the start. Bizarrely, if that start was mixed in with the recent games, recent results, we're having like an average season, aren't we? But because the season started so badly, we feel like we're trying to claw it back, aren't we, at the minute?
Yeah. And
it's got to be harder to do that. Yeah, because it means you've got to be on it now for the rest of the season, every game. You can't really have any. You can't have 2 or 3 bad games now in the league.
We can't afford to mess up now, really.
No. Dark Farts, he's on about twin strikers like Ferguson, Wallace. You can always tell how old people are when they start referencing strikers from a certain era. Matthew Stone, we're in a dilemma. Our more creative players are attacking wingers, but clearly need 2 up top.
Well, I think that's just with the people we've got available. If you bring Haji, Sheaf, and Efron back, you could go to a 4-3-3. You could play Sheaf and Grimes holding, Radoni in a 10, Efron, Haji as wingers, and then play Sims up top. The Sims up top with Haji off the left worked last season. Sakamoto to add to that on either wing. That's completely doable. But with the available players, I think we have to play to up top.
Yeah.
Mark Lights, team not ready and too many defensive mistakes most of the season. I said we should have signed a quality defender in the transfer window. James Hollyhoke, the Dark Fart says, talking about the kit, the fourth kit reminds me of my Mrs. Silky PJs. Not if you've seen Jack in it and me in it, you wouldn't.
I'm not involved.
Looks like a flipping bin liner on me. James Hollyhoke, men's are all sold out.
You could buy mine for 250 quid.
Bomber Bidwell, fourth kit is not very nice. Like you have been on the rain. Let's hope we never see it again like the white kit. Shirt numbers should have been a different colour.
Yeah,
I agree with that. It must have been hard for Clive in the commentary box to picking out them players.
It's hard enough for him when the kit looks good and easy to read.
Yeah, Sky Blue Warrior, the shirt doesn't advertise the charity, doesn't have the number or name clear visible, would be better than Sky Blue. We said that, didn't we?
Yeah.
We can't play in the other three shirts, so why release a fourth one?
Money. Yeah, you're right, money. Unfortunately.
We're all idiots. We all bought it, didn't we? They've sold out, so it's worked.
Yeah, John Cook, on a positive note, We Live and Die sounded amazing.
It did.
Bomber Bidwell says you haven't won in our current second kit either. Is that right?
You're right. Now we haven't won in the white kit yet. We haven't worn it that many times, but we haven't won in it. 2 draws, 2 losses.
Gary Anderson says I do like QPR's manager and got laughed at earlier this season when I said they were in a false position. I totally agree with Mikey's comments. We were so poor in certain areas. I just hope they can get their act together as QPR are doing well. Well, they're level with us on points and we're above them. So, I know it's goal difference, but we are above them. Ben Green, clumsiest striker we'll see you see in our forwards. He's referring to his guys. Victoria Oaks, remember Sato coming on in the reserve fixture, reverse fixture, somebody got injured and he looked like a threat back then. Yes, because we were on top and he came on for the guy who was on
left back or thinking they went to a back 5 and he played left wing back.
Yeah, they did.
He came on for our ex-player, didn't he? What's his name? It was here.
Narrow it down.
Nearly messed up in the playoff final. What's his name? I can't think of his name now.
I can't think.
What's from Chelsea? He's at QPR now.
Oh, Clark Salter.
He went on. I think he came on for him, didn't he? At left wing back.
Clark Salter didn't play for us in the playoffs, but
did he? I thought he did. No,
that was Panzer. You think?
Yeah, sorry, but Clark Salter, he went off injured, didn't he? And he was doing us a favour because he was being dreadful. Aaron Thomas thinks the standard has been poor in the Championship this season. I wouldn't say poor; it's more average, isn't it? I don't expect. I never know. This player who's on free train. This player who's a free agent training with us, is he worth a contract? Well, I don't know if we can sign him because we've got 25 players in the listed now, haven't we? Ralph Wiggins, Illis Chair is always a thorn in our sides. Class player will need to be on form, and our defence really needs to be awake for a change.
You're right there.
King Carlos, let's just take game at a time and see where we are. So we're talking about, weren't you, Ken, about the playoffs?
Yes.
And whether
we can still do it. Claudia, do you think we can still do it?
Well,
because we've changed at the start of the season, we all made predictions, didn't we? If you remember.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Third.
And you changed it. Did you change it?
Well, all right. You can laugh. It wasn't.
No, I'm laughing at you're asking him, did he change it? Well, I'm assuming you don't still think we're going to come third, Claudio.
No. But at the time, we still had a month of the transfer window left, and we thought we were going to sign loads of players. So I thought it was 2 or 3 were going to come flying through the door.
Right.
So we're obviously not going to get third, not going to get fourth, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility because on paper we can still make the playoffs. It's as simple as that. So mathematically, we can do it. And like Jack says, the running isn't that fearful, is it, really? So
we can do it, but I've got to pressure. Do you think we will do it?
No.
Because
not because basically we've still got that same defence from last season, which I thought was going to change during the transfer window, which I put on Facebook way back in August. The start, in fact, no, I put it in July. I said, I did say, if you think we're going to get to the playoffs with this defence, you've got another thing coming, is what I put.
Okay, even with the injured players coming back.
Yeah, but they're not defenders, are they?
No, they're not, but they make additional quality to the team, don't they?
Well, they're going to have to score.
Plus Grime.
Well, like it's shown the last 2 games, they're going to have to score 3 goals again, at least.
Yeah. Jack, where do you sit on the playoffs?
It's completely plausible, and with the running, we've got players coming back. If we don't get a significant injury to a major player, I think we will make the playoffs and we'll lose in the playoff semi-finals.
Really? Okay.
And that will do us the world of good, because then we can say we're a playoff achieving team. We can attract players. If we say, well, we've missed out on the playoffs again, who wants to come to us? We can't do it. But if we get there again, we've got the argument 2 out of 3 years.
Ain't got to go through that playoff semi-final with heartache again, have we? Surely.
We've never lost a playoff semi-final.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, I think we can. Asking me, I think we can do it. I think we can do it. I think we can get there. I really do. If we get... That all depends on these players coming back and how quick they get back. But we can't afford to mess up too many games.
But if we can put a run together now for the next 4 games and then slowly start adding in Haji, Efron, Sheaf, that's unbelievable. The confidence that will be flying around that changing room with our best players back after having a good couple of games, then we'll see.
And as you say, running's not mega difficult, is it? It's they're winnable games easily. I think so. But I know we don't play on paper. It's that anybody can beat anybody on the day in this league, as we all know. But there's possibilities there, and I think providing we can get up and running and don't cut out the silly mistakes as we've spoke about, I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can do it.
But even the recent games we've won, there's still been opportunities for the other teams to score goals where we've almost gifted.
Well, they haven't.
Well, they haven't, only because they've missed them. But we gift chances all the time, and this is the issue. In fact, what saved us is Doven in goal in some of those games where we've won. We've only just won these games. Even when we've been dominant, we've only just won these games.
Burnley are only just winning games. They've scored less goals than us. But they've got 60 points and we've got 41.
But you can't get in their box, Jack. That's the difference.
Yeah.
They don't let you get in their box.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not a great side to watch, and I'd hate to have a season ticket at Burnley. But unfortunately, it looks... If I was to pick the 2 that goes up now, I'd say obviously Leeds and Burnley to go up, and then the rest in the playoffs. That's what I'd go for now at this stage. I can't see any different, to be honest.
I think Sheffield United will make automatics with the additions that they've had. Yeah. Burnley just don't score enough, and Sheffield United have added defenders and attackers, and they're already in the top 2. So,
I feel those 3 will go up though, even if one. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one will be the playoff winner, I think.
Yeah. Vicky says, interesting. Katic at Plymouth is somebody they got in on loan. Solomon on loan for Leeds. The other day, look, quality, lack of loans for us is an issue. Solomon shouldn't even be in the Championship. He's from Tottenham, I think. They could do him in the Tottenham team at the minute. Ben Green, we never start the season well. Notorious for a slow start. Paul Stratton, I hope the 4 wins has not papered over the cracks. We just need to be more aggressive and win at all battles. I just want us to come out on Tuesday.
All guns blazing, yeah. Exactly. Straight from the off.
None of this stuff where you have the kick-off and just boot up the other end of the pitch and give them possession. We've got to keep the ball. I don't think that can happen with Grimes. Imagine that. They kick off and they just boot it when we've got a player who likes to hold the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be happy with that, surely. Mark Rainbow, Rudoni has been the player of the year so far. Most goal contributions, the most consistent and positive player. Also, imagine if he doesn't start Grimes.
He's got to start him, sure. He's going to start him. Got to.
Well, you'd like to think so. Palmer Bidwell, which of our fit strikers needs to get a face injury and wear Leon Best's Zorro face masks to stop being average and score goals consistently? Are we still the club with no loans?
Unfortunately, yes, we are, aren't we?
Yeah. Vicky, I'll get the Vicky quotes in because she's not here tonight. When you look at the other teams looking at playoffs, then there are other shaky defences there who have conceded more than us, so all to play for. And Ryan completely agrees.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the other teams around us. So West Brom, I mean, their defence is significantly better, as is Blackburn's, who we put 5 past, weirdly. Middlesbrough 1 less, Norwich 3 more, Bristol City 4 less, Watford 4 more, Sheffield Wednesday 8 more, QPR exactly the same goals conceded. So we're crap at not keeping our defence tight, but so is everyone else.
Yeah. Now, going a bit off topic now, I've been told to mention this about the road closures.
Yes, I was about to say about these road closures after the match. Now, you've got some sort of law, haven't you, Claudia, that you can tell us about?
Yeah, currently going through Parliament is something called Martin's Law, which is all to do safety around arenas and any venues that hold a certain amount of people. And it's all about safety. And because of what happened at the Manchester Arena and some other venues around the world where vehicles have been ploughing into people, basically terrorists, it's up to whoever is in charge of that venue to protect people, basically. So that's why, and whether we like it or not, it's going through Parliament. So the chances are this is here to stay, these road closures. And it's all, and if you think about it logically, it can happen. You could have some lunatic in a great big, long loader could plough into hundreds of people crossing that road if they wanted to. So they have to section off certain parts of the road where there's a danger. I mean, I know it can happen anywhere else, but that's what they're doing it for. So there's a law going through Parliament at this minute, and the chances are it's going to get passed. And if it gets passed, that's it. They can shut off more than they can shut off a reasonable amount as what they deem reasonable.
Question: does that mean the club don't have to pay for it then if it's law?
That I don't know.
At the moment, the club are paying, aren't they?
Exactly. That's my point. Can we save some cash?
I don't know. That I don't know. But yeah. So it's one of those, isn't it? But anyway, that's why it's there. I've got to say, I'll get home really quickly. But
where you are, yeah. I mean,
it's. But it's
we can advertise that now. Actually, where you park, put that up, can't we?
We can do. We
while we're on the subject of parking,
when we got out last night,
there
we go. Home parking.
That's where Claudia parks. Yeah.
Well, they got parking all around the ground. They've got 3 or 4 or 5 actually car parks.
Yeah. I mean, if you go on that site, you can book your car parking, which is very secure. And where Claudio is, by Costa King, you get away quite easy, don't you?
You do if you're that side. Also, they do away travel as well.
Why are there 2 photos of Bobby Thomas on that?
Because he's all over. He's here. He's there. He's everywhere.
And he's got a big head.
Also, Jack, over to you.
Yes, we've got a players' meeting coming up in 9 days now. So it's Tuesday, the 18th of Feb. It's at Racing Club Warwick. We've got Louis Binks and Milan. We've got player interviews. Rob Gurney's hosting the evening. I'm sure Claudia will have a microphone wandering around the audience as per. But yeah, photo opportunities with the lads. We've got some sort of raffle prize draw. I don't know exactly what it'll be, but it'll be a good night, and it's only a tenner for a couple of hours. So come on down. That's if you're a non-member. It's free for members. So come on down, come and meet the lads, and have a good night.
It is a good night, actually.
It was. Went there last year. It was a good night. The last one was very good, wasn't it?
Also, I'm going to advertise my history podcast with Jim Brown. Got a really good one out at the minute with Stephen Presley, the ex-player and manager, of course, and is really forget that I'm on it. Just watch it and listen to. You can watch it on YouTube or what. You can listen to the podcast. It's just interesting to listen to Stephen Pressley and how frank and honest he is about how he was when he was at the club. It's nice to hear somebody, for a change, well, basically not blame everybody else. And he's quite hard on himself, I think. And he was under a lot of constraints, but yeah, it's well worth a listen just to listen to Stephen Presley's story. Also, we went to this, didn't we, the other night?
We did. What a fantastic night that was at the Walsgrove Workingmen's Club. No, we had a couple of videos, but obviously there's a lot of language on the videos. Noel didn't hold back when he told some of his stories. Fantastic stories, some of them, and the sort of things they got up to you wouldn't quite believe back then. And yeah, it was a great night, and Billy Bell hosted it, and it's a really good night. And it was, I say, there was a time he broke down slightly, didn't he, when we were talking about Gary Speed? I can tell you about this, and somebody asked a question about Gary Speed, his ex-teammate, obviously for Leeds. That was his hero when he grew up, and he got very emotional when he started speaking about that, and he still didn't understand why. And he went on to say about mental health and stuff like that. It is important out there. There's a lot of people suffer from mental health and issues that we're not aware of. So always keep an eye on people. You don't know what they're going through behind the scenes, if you like, or beyond closed doors. So
yeah. He also mentioned when he got upset when he mentioned Strachan taking him in, because I think if anybody knows Noel Whelan, he was a bit of a party animal. And when you listen to the stories, and people said, how did we not finish higher up the table when we had McAllister and Haji and Sheeper and Whelan and Dublin and Huckabee and reeled all these names off? And I thought, because they're basically drunk all the flipping time. It just sounded like they were just drinking all the time. It was just...
Some of the stories were unbelievable, weren't they?
I know, but he was a young lad away from home, and I think he said he lived 6 months in a hotel and he was meant to get somewhere to live. And I don't think the club realised he was actually still in the hotel, but he says he didn't have to do anything, did he? He just have to turn up. All his washing was done. The bed was made. He didn't have to worry about food. It was all sorted. The club were dealing with it. And yeah, but what a player. When they showed his reel of his goals, what a player. I think he's so exciting. I leant across.
In today's value, what would you value him at today?
Well, put it this way, he wouldn't be at Coventry City. He'd be in the Premier League, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Definitely, we know that. And I mean, I leant across to you and I says, what would we do now to have either a Whelan or a Huckabee? And dare I say it, Dion Dublin, because I don't care what anybody says. I know he went to Villa and all the rest of it and didn't play that game, whatever. 4 seasons running, he was our leading goal scorer in the Premier League, not Division 1, Division 2, Championship, Premier League. And they gave us some real entertainment. Yeah. So, but he's a top guy and still on it, still full on it, isn't he? He's all there. The stories were great. If you ever get the chance to see anything with Noel Whelan, it's worth going to. It really is, I think.
Yeah. And afterwards, he had all the time in the world for fans, didn't he? And he used photos and the chats afterwards to all the fans. He had loads of time for people, and he works at Leeds now as an ambassador.
That's the irony. In the community, working and helping people. Well, he probably realises is a bit similar to what, if you did give too much away about Stephen Pressley, but what Stephen Pressley does at Brentford, because he works for Brentford in the same way. So these are people who, if you listen to Stephen's story, similar way you felt like there was certain help not there when you were younger, and they just give him back. And I think Noel's doing the same. It's incredible, and it's what's keeping him going. So it's a big part of his life. So it's good to hear. Yeah,
he's a great guy, and hopefully one day we might have him on one of the shows. Hopefully, if we can work on it.
I did tap him up, so I'm not one for being shy.
The question was asked, but we will have to see what happens.
No, we didn't guess the gate. It wasn't for this game, was it?
No, we didn't have one for this game, but it was a big gate. Let's talk about the gate, because it surprised a few people, I think, out there, 30,000. But I thought, well, obviously it was swelled by Ipswich, who bought near enough 5,000. But it
was 25 of us, and there wasn't.
25. And
people actually were sat in the seats. It wasn't like one of those ones where they just make up the figures because the season tickets have been sold. So 25,000 Cov fans.
Yeah, and there was a delay to the kickoff, obviously, because they had a few problems with the tickets beforehand. not scanning correctly, and they did kindly put the game back 10 minutes, even though there was still quite a few fans. I think a few fans missed the first 2 goals because, just your luck, we had 2 goals in the first 8 minutes, so a lot of fans were still outside.
The problem with the paper tickets, if it's rain, it's a nightmare. It's happened to me once, and I've never done it again, where it was raining and the ticket was like just disintegrating in my hand. You're in the queue, you can't keep the thing dry. I was getting drenched. All my pockets were drenched. Everything in my pockets were getting wet. The ticket as well was a nightmare. So I thought, I'm not doing that again on my season ticket every time. Or scan your phone. It's just so much easier.
Yeah. We got a few more comments we can go through.
We got loads. So Lee Beckett. Promotion in the playoffs have been for 3rd or 4th spot apart from 2 years. Bomber Bidwell, sorry, only club with no loans.
Yeah.
Paul Stratton, I think Matt Grimes will make Rodoni an even better player as he'll take the pressure off him.
That's a good point. He probably could. He could well do that because Rodoni will be a bit more less pressurised, really, and play his own game.
I just hope we don't put too much on him, though, expecting him to play the killer ball every time, because he's a neat and tidy player who will play that ball, but you've got to make the runs. You've got to do the right movements. You can't just stand still. He ain't going to find you. Finn, I wish CBS would stop emptying so damn quickly. We should be roaring them on. Every goal counts.
I've been very disappointed the last 2 games. I know we've lost both, but if we were winning them, the crowd wouldn't empty. If we were 1-1 and knocking on the door, the ground wouldn't empty. I get that it's top of the league leads and an FA Cup 4th round that's a free hit, but we should be supporting them. The CBS looks empty at the end of the game. It looked fantastic yesterday at kickoff. Well, Live and Die in These Towns was one of the loudest ever. Bearing in mind there was 5,000 of them trying to sing their song over the top of it. I think that roared us on a little bit. But from minute 1, well, prior to minute 1 before the 1-0, we were full and loud. And at the end of the game, there was half the crowd gone and it was just dreary. I know the lads need to help us as fans, but us as fans need to help the lads as well. It goes both ways. Yes, there needs to be a crunching tackle or a shot to get us excited, but we can help that. And recently, we've just kind of given up as a crowd as soon as we go behind.
I think as well, Jack, that it's a bit misguided, but I think some people are leaving thinking they're going to beat the traffic, and then they realise they can't get out. So you might as well stay in the ground. You know what I mean?
Right. And of course, we're running 10 minutes behind anyway. Yesterday, so the road closes.
You moan that you can't get in the ground, but then you leave 10 minutes early. I know that's not everyone, but there are some.
Some people were frustrated as well yesterday because we were 4-1 down. But
it was a free hit. I'm back in the
boys.
boys.
It's a free hit, and
we could have got a goal back. We threatened quite late on a little bit, so we could have got a goal back. We had an offside one. I bet some people missed that.
Yes, I bet they did. That would have could have made a difference. 3-2, couldn't it?
You never know.
Chris Brooks says road closure is acceptable. People just need to learn to be patient. I park in car park C, happily sit for 30 minutes to clear and then straight through. Just tune into CWR and you might get to hear me on there.
Yeah, I did hear you yesterday. More sitting in the car, Claudia.
I'll tell you what, I said to him, this is a different phone call. It'd have been a different phone call at half time, I said to him. I'd calm down a bit then and realise, when you sort of take it all and realise how much better those 2 teams were we've played against recently, you sort of get into perspective a little bit, don't you, really? Although it doesn't, I'm not going to say they're not totally blameless, obviously. Mick Davenport, crowd congestion is a problem again with the delayed kickoff. Lee Beckett, for a 3 p.m. kickoff, I'm home in time for the 7:30 kickoff. I live near Coombe. This is from Bomber Bidwell. The actual possibility of terrorism is very low in reality, but terrorism is based on fear generated from governments and terrorists. Well, this is true, Bomber Bidwell, but it's one of those ones that nobody wants to take the risk, do they? No. Basically. Finn, I watched it. The grass cutting made me laugh, Claudio.
Is that regarding the podcast?
I can't remember. Yes, it was. Sorry, I was trying to think. Oh, yes, I know who's on about now. Yeah, I know who's on about now. Sorry, I was. Paul Stratton, glad it's Rob Gurney hosting Players Night. I hope you don't have to come into contact with Clive. I love Cov rugby more than CCFC. He is clueless, right? Oh. Neil Jakes, that volley against Wimbledon, Van Basten-esque. Nathan Sullivan, I park in the Three Horseshoes car park from Fossil Road, 10 quid to park, 15 minutes walk, 15 minutes drive back to Canley, job done. Vicky says, love Noel Whelan, one of my favourites. His goals are brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant, ridiculous. I'm going to watch that Elvis SBFT podcast now. The wife's watching some Boyzone crap on Sky. It's Aaron, it's the Sky Blue History podcast. So you should find it on Apple or Spotify. It's on there. It's also on the archive website. If you look on, I think it's Memories, there's a link to it there as well. Paul Stratton, Claudia, watch the Stephen Presley podcast. What a top man. He comes across brilliantly. He really does.
He does.
What's he say? Chris Brook, Jack Saunders, was that a swipe at Ryan?
Yes, we've got, so the Sheffield Wednesday Cup game, he got trained back to Kenilworth, and because they were every hour, he decided to leave in about the 85th minute. Obviously missed the Sheffield Wednesday goal, the whole of extra time, and the whole of pens. No, it's not a swipe directly at him, because there are like circumstances. You understand why people leave. I get that it's like a Leeds game as well. It's a midweek, people want to get home, but I still think if you're committing to go to the game, what's another 5-10 minutes? Just finish the game, watch it.
The problem is, if you're on the train as well, it could be a nightmare. That's the other issue as well. There are other issues.
Yeah.
For some people, young kids, if they probably think it's late anyway, and if they leave it till the end, there's probably going to add another half hour, 45 minutes they could do without. So it's one of those, isn't it? It's, it's at the end of the day, Jack, they pay the money, they can come and go as they please, mate. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Who are we to say? Janet, why leave 10 minutes early when road closed 15 minutes before the end of the game? That's right. That's what we're saying, Janet. You just sit in the car. Chris Brook, Claudio, Jack, check the stats for player assists. I think Rudy has already done better than O'Hare and Palmer.
Well, that's right. That Rudy's got surprised me.
Rudy's got 10 assists. O'Hare last season 5, Palmer 10. So he's matched Palmer last season. And the season before, Palmer 4, O'Hare 4. So yeah.
Yeah, I just like the way he's positive. He does try to get forward, and yet again, I could hear the groans when De Silva and Latty got the ball, and they're not looking to turn to go forward. They're looking to go inside, back again. I don't understand free kicks when we're on the halfway line where we roll it back. I just don't get all that. I just think surely. It's weird because the last couple of games at home, when we had a free kick, we were shoving the big men up for it. And we didn't bother on Saturday, really. Not a lot. This is a question from Ryan Matthew. Question for the lads on the panel. What was your gut feeling on Frank? Think he's the man to take us to the next level?
Well, there you go. Come on, Claudia. I'll let you answer that first.
Oh.
You still pleased?
Why are you on CWR? You can't get your words out.
I know. The jury's out. I think he needs. Well, there's the answer. I just took it straight out of my mouth there from Paul Stratton. Think if Doug backs Frank in the summer, I think would be okay. That's the issue. Yeah. I'm slightly disappointed there wasn't any more coming in this window. Maybe he was told you got 4 or 5 million to play with, and that's it. And he took the gamble on Grimes. I don't know, but because
we don't know how much money was available, do we?
I mean, the two guys who are coaching in the background. It's interesting. We were sat for the Leeds game, the VP seats, and Andrews was coming out all the time and talking to Frank, a bit like AD used to do with Robbins. He used to come in the area there where it's called, and have a little word in his ear, and then sit back down again. At the start of the season, nobody was doing that really with Mark Robins, were they? They weren't. It looked like a man on his own, basically.
Yeah.
So I think the backroom staff are good. So yeah, I think we can. If we get the right people in, we've got to back him. We have to back him. What's the point? Yeah, that's what I think.
Jack, where do you sit on Frank Lampard?
Yeah, I completely agree. He can be the right man for the job, but he needs to have the backing financially from Doug. I mean, he's got the backroom staff now. Obviously, this summer just gone, we had as much backing as we probably could. We all want more, but we don't know Doug's situation. But obviously, losing Dennis Lawrence and AD is probably a bigger impact than not bringing in 2 more players. You know, that might have been the difference of keeping Robins, and who knows what would have happened compared to Lampard and 2 professionals coming in. That's the backing is the difference, I think. I do think Frank and his team are at a superior level to where we've been. But again, we need the players to perform on the pitch, and we need signings to be able to get to that level.
Paul Strand's come on with this question here. Claudio, let's hope Victor gets a transfer. We all get the players we need. Do you think that was it? That was the reason maybe we didn't have more money available because Victor never went anywhere?
Possibly, but he's the trouble is the longer he stays, the less we're going to get, aren't we? Because that buyout's going to drop surely season on season.
His form has dipped a bit since Amarin has left as well. He's not banging him in as much. He's still doing the business, but his form has dropped ever so slightly with a different manager and tactics.
Yeah, it's interesting that.
I've been impressed with Frank. I think he speaks very well, doesn't he, to the media? He's media trained and all that. And he does speak very well. He explains situations very well. Obviously, the jury's still out, but I think he can. I think he can turn it around, and I think he can do a good job. I do. I really do. I think if he stays here, hopefully he will get some results, and he can build a team and get us on a good run and get us into the promised land. Hopefully, he's got a lot of contacts. He's very knowledgeable, isn't he? So hopefully in the summer we might be able to get some of them contacts.
I think Jack gave me a stat, didn't you, during the week of the form?
Well, yeah, so Lampard's had 14 games in the league this season, same as Mark Robins had, and we've got 3 more wins compared under Frank than we had under Mark. 4 more wins, 12 points better off. 4 draws is the same. It's just 7 wins to 3 losses for Frank and 3 wins, 7 losses to Mark. So we're clearly doing the business a little bit better. We've actually only scored 1 more goal under Frank Lampard than we did under Mark Robins in 14 games. But the difference is we've conceded 4 less goals, which has transpired into 4 clean sheets. So that's the major difference. The defence has got better factually, and that does include Leeds the other night.
Yeah, that's
fair enough.
Well, that's encouraging, isn't it? That's what you want to hear, isn't it? Because if it had come in and done the same, then basically we're nowhere. Yeah, we're in trouble. is the answer to that. We are, but we're not. So he has flipped it, and he's flipped it around quite quickly, really. Yeah. In 14 games, and we were saying if that had been the start of the season, we'd be sitting here thinking, "Oh, we might have a good season this year. We can push on."
Yeah, in the second 14, we're 12 points better off. If we were 12 points better off in the first 14 games, we'd currently be on 53 points, which is 6 above West Brom. So we'd be in 5th and 6 behind 4th place Sunderland. So we're comfortably a playoff team, and we could lose the next 2 to QPR and Sheffield Wednesday and still be comfortably 5th.
Yeah, so when you look at it, it's those defeats against Norwich, Swansea, let's get this right, Derby, Sheffield Wednesday. There were 4 teams who were rubbish when they came to the CBS.
And we were rubbisher.
Yes, that's a word. That's a new word. I like that, rubbisher. They were rubbish and we were rubbisher. And that's what made the difference. You know, that was a killer, the Sheffield Wednesday, right at the death, wasn't it?
Oh.
Derby as well. Come on.
Derby had 1 shot on target, beat us 2-1.
Yeah, Norwich.
I don't think they could quite believe it, could they, that they got a win?
Yeah, Norwich did nothing against us that day. Absolutely nothing. So the defeats were poor. So I suppose
and annoyingly avoidable, weren't they? Very much avoidable.
Yeah. So you look at it now. Yeah, that start has really hit us this season, probably more so than the other seasons, because the other season there were circumstances why we, lack new players, no pitch, and all the rest of it. There was no valid reason for that start this season, basically, apart from the fact behind the scenes things weren't right, which is what we said straight from the off. It didn't feel right. There was something going on, and we couldn't quite put a finger on it. And so basically, I'd have to say, if you gave it marks out of 10, then Frank Lampard for me is a big 8 at the minute.
Yeah, I'd say I'd probably agree with you there. 8. Jack, 8.
Yeah, well, why not? I mean, it's player form, but did he come in too late? Is the only argument. So a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10 for sure.
Vicky's come back on. Lampard wasn't my first choice, she says. But as Jack said earlier, the fans have united behind him. We need support from King because whoever is in charge is going to be impeded if the squad gap's not filled. That's quite correct, Vic. Yeah. And I think that's probably the view of a lot of people as well.
So Ryan says, thanks for taking time to answer, lads. I agree with back in from Doug. I think him and his staff can take us forward. I think there's still a lot of optimism, to be honest. I think more so now than before Christmas, put it that way.
Oh, without a doubt. We weren't very happy at Christmas, were we?
Yeah, I mean, I know, we have a grumble, but, we have just lost 2 games in a row. If you can't have a grumble, I mean, I've got to watch it now because I've got cats, whereas before I didn't have cats. So, before I used to say, if I had a cat, I'd kick it. Well, I've got 2 now.
Yeah, we haven't seen the cat on the screen lately.
Hold on a minute.
Oh, no.
Just one of them sleeping behind me on the bed.
Oh, you let it in the room?
Yeah, she was wide awake earlier. I started talking, it just nodded off. Ben Green, the fact we're relying on Gyökeres transfer to bring players in is a worry. But to be honest, Ben, that's the same for a lot of clubs. That's how people operate. We haven't got free cash. That's obvious. Paul Stratton, Christian Horner, rumours are rife about Red Bull investment. Would be nice, wouldn't it?
I've heard these rumours, but nothing concrete, really.
Lee Beckett, I can't see Red Bull investment as they put money into Leeds.
Safer bet.
Yeah.
I've seen a comment from Mark Rainbow. He's put, does anyone know how many of Haji's goals come from Rodoni assists? The answer is 0.
Oh, is it? I can say you might have 0.
That's why I've picked it up. So Haji scored 7 goals, none of which have come from a Rodoni assist, which is quite ironic considering Rodoni's created 10 goals this season.
When Javan said their top goal scorers was 6 goals, and I'm thinking Haji Wright, our leading goal scorer is 7, and he's not played for 20 matches. I think it's about right, isn't it?
But yeah, although we do have Thomas Asante on 6 and Sims on 5, all competitions.
How many has Asante got in the league?
4 in the league.
4.
Yeah, you need a striker scoring more than that. We're halfway through the season.
Well, last season, Haji and Sims ended up what? No, I mean, did you get 20? 19, 20?
19 and 18.
18.
Yeah, they'll have to go some to get that.
Yeah, difference, isn't it?
So, Chris Foster said, went to Middlesbrough 3-0 win and then awful against Derby. That was weird, that was, wasn't it?
What's this one here about? Is this Claudio Zomba's Cardiello?
Who's that?
Kurt Zuma, the cat kicker.
Oh, we got about him, yeah.
Claudio Zuma Cardellino. Red Bull investment was talked about before Sisu came in. From memory, people hated it all at the time. Haji Wright, 7 goals, haven't played for as long as it's pretty impressive, to be honest. Well, I reckon he would have smashed easily, probably 20 goals this season when he scored 7 so quickly.
Finn says, what about Haji Wright? What is Wright out with? I think what is his injury? Do you know? It's quite a bad one, isn't it?
Ankle from memory.
It's against Sunderland, wasn't it, when he got carried off?
Yeah, it was innocuous as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, if I remember rightly. Yeah.
So I think it's ligaments. It's got to be ligaments, hasn't it? It's obviously strained them. Why don't they just tell you what's happened?
They're all very secret, aren't they?
Because to me, it sounds like he's had an operation. If he's out for that long, of some sort, that's a long time to be out with ligaments. it's almost half the season. Paul Stratton think Doug needs another investor, as he does not personally have meg money to invest in his team. I don't think he wants anybody else, personally. He's very much a one-man band. That's how he operates. Mike Ashley, Doug partnership would be good.
Well, it would be good, but I don't know if I can't see that happening. Can you?
Oh yeah, I was just thinking, what was the fanzine that Finn used to write in? Because I remembered, and I've got some here. I wonder if you remember that. So there's Dublin's Fair City, I think that's called, if anybody remembers that one.
Okay.
Ron's, a city mourns its loss. Apparently, these
are all the ones that got on sale outside Highfield Road, weren't they?
I got a Sky Blue Army one there.
Okay.
I can't show you the back of it because it's rude. I got a Twist and Shout. It looks like Kev Monk's on the front of that one. Oh, I've got to get this right now.
Oh.
There's Kev Monk's look in the sky blue shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, that's an interesting one. I've got I've got here Gary Mabbitt's knee.
Chris Brook just said that, Gary Mabbitt's knee. He said, I think it's come on and said, it wasn't my fanzine. Miles got that part wrong. Oh.
Yeah, and some more Sky Blue Armies.
Yeah.
I used to like them.
Mick Davenport says Wright turned his ankle. So that's, and then Lee Beckett says it's a ligament tear. So whatever it was, it's too long.
Arthur Simpson, I do like streaming on eFootball. Who is the goal of the season for Coventry City? Well,
Asante. I can't think of another similar one that's a worldie. Asante's the only one that comes to mind.
I think you'll struggle to beat that this season. Well, we don't know, do we? I think you'll struggle to beat that.
To be honest, he scored probably one of the other ones as well. The one at the near post was a great move and finish, and also the one against Tottenham. That was a good team goal, wasn't it? And Asante's been involved in all three of those.
The cross from Bassett for that Tottenham goal was lovely.
And it's a mystery because when he was at the Albion, every time I watched him, I thought, God, he looks a really lively, dangerous player. And he looked lively and dangerous against us.
Yeah.
And you think, come on, there's a player in there somewhere. I do believe there is. And I just think he needs to calm down a bit, basically. Yeah. Chill out a bit. Get on the ball. Don't like you have to do something all the time, spectacular. Just get it under control. He falls over his feet all the time at the minute. All the time.
Yeah, he's one of them frustrating players, isn't he? Yeah. That's what he is.
So Torp free kick.
Torp free kick. Lee Beckett says Torp free kick. Yeah. I don't know. I think Asante is better than that. Just from the distance, to score from that distance.
To take nothing away from Torp, he kind of just side-footed it over the wall and it was perfect. Like, take nothing away. The technique was impeccable, but it wasn't top bins. It was kind of just away from the keeper over the wall. The dip was the what got it in the net, basically.
Yeah.
So fantastic. But I think that was, as free kicks go, quite an average one.
So
yeah, Asante to score from that distance. Any player to score from that distance, it's got to be special.
So, yeah, Finn says, it wasn't my fanzine. Miles got that part wrong. I like his old Bantams supporters club badge. That must go way back to probably 50s, I think. Mark Rainbow, cheers, Jack. How odd that Jack hasn't assisted Haji's goals. Yeah, Jack, why haven't you assisted in Haji's goals?
He's that injured, that's why. Can't do it.
Khan Prowess, on defending perspective, we need a fast, strong defender and a leader to stop goals being leaked. Khan, we've been saying this all season, which is why we thought we were going to get one. Vicky Oakes. It's funny at Chris Foster, Middlesbrough fans, we're all moaning when we beat them about how good we looked and we're questioning Carrick. Then we dropped away and they have pushed on.
Well, they have pushed on, but they're a funny side, Middlesbrough, aren't they? They have a couple of good results, and then they have a bad one, don't they?
Yeah, I did what Wright did once, drunk on red wine on a sailing yacht, took a non-athlete, fat something. Oh yeah, like me, months to recover. He'll be back soon. Don't drink red wine anymore after that. I was once gifted. It's nothing to do with football. We went down to Poole, and my mother-in-law gifted us a trip out in a little boat. And I thought we were going to be sitting on this boat and just go around Poole Harbour, nice and gentle, you know. We got on the boat, and we quickly realised, me and Caroline, that we're actually manning this thing. I've never done it ever in my life. It's one of those ones where you got your backside in the water. And
right, you're steering it.
Oh, it's mental. I've never known anything like it. And I kept getting hit by I can't remember, the boom, whatever it's called. You know, you have to keep turning the sail. And the guy kept saying, you got to duck. And I kept forgetting. The thing kept smacking me on the head. I thought, this is the worst present ever. Absolutely horrendous afternoon that was. And we went out to calmer waters. And then the guy says, do you want to go out a bit further? I went, no, I think it's time to go back, mate. I'm like seeing stars here. That's Chris Brock on a Saturday evening, Sunday morning, report on the club games.
You've got plenty of pinks, haven't you, Claudia?
Yeah,
pinks.
I gave Chris the night game a load. Mostly love of music. Individually, I'm happy with all our defenders. It's about them working as a unit, and Grimes could be the key to organising them at the key moments.
Well, that's what I mean. With his experience there, they might not make as many mistakes as they have been doing. So Grimes in there, organising them.
And obviously, hopefully, they'll give him the ball.
Yes.
It saves us making stupid runs out of defence with the ball and getting tackled.
Did you say, it wasn't mentioned the other night, that Grimes only had one incomplete pass against Leeds, and that was a free kick he took where we made a foul before anyone could receive the ball. So he actually had 100% pass accuracy to completed passes.
And there you go.
That's with his head as well.
Yeah.
Oh. Paul Stratton says, let's hope we come out on the front foot with loads of aggression on Tuesday and put everything we have moaned about tonight right. Great show again. Thank you, Paul. Mostly love of music says, I can see us beating boring Burnley 1-0 playoff semi-final and losing on penalties to Sunderland at Wembley. God, I hope not. That was just dreadful. It's, especially because it'd be on my birthday. Like Eustace is leaving looks like Eustace is leaving Blackburn to join Derby. That'd be crazy. That'd be absolutely crazy. Would it?
Absolutely do that. I can't see him doing that. Yeah.
That could be another playoff team, chasing team that fades away. We need to take advantage of these. It's there for the taking. Covandy's put, no, it all makes sense, Claudia. Of course, Covandy's down in Portsmouth, so he probably knows what I mean in Poole Harbour, where all the boats are. It's some fancy boat club it was that we're at. And you know when you like dress for something inappropriately and you realise you're going out in the middle of the sea? It's a nightmare.
So John Eustace has actually addressed the rumours. He said, we'll see what happens. Talks will begin.
Oh, he hasn't denied it then? So
he's openly accepted that there is a link and that there will be talks. Might only be between clubs, might not even get to Eustace, but it is a genuine possibility. He's got family links to the Midlands and specifically Derby, and he's an ex-player of Derby, apparently.
Oh, okay.
So there's a genuine chance that could happen.
So Arthur Simpson, do live streaming on football. Which one on Tuesday? I don't win on Tuesday, or our team is screwed. Yes. The Beckett Derby have triggered release calls. Derby have promised to back him.
Right.
Won't.
Yeah.
Well, see, maybe he was looking when they got a manager. When apparently it sounded like he may have been coming to us. Maybe there was some truth in that then. Yeah,
because he has got a release call, so maybe we triggered that, and then he did have talks. I don't know. We don't know, do we?
Point made on Neil Lamptey's podcast that Grimes is signing for next season rather than the missing piece for this season. I can see the logic behind that thought. Ralph Wiggins says, is it the Lilliput Boat Club by any chance? I can't remember. I think it started with an S. I can't remember. I was hit on the head a few times.
Right,
I think we're done.
Okay. Yeah, Chris Brooks said thanks, great show as usual. Thank you, Chris.
On Thursday, I'll be here with Vicky. Internet hopefully working. You're not here, are you, Ken?
I'm not here, unfortunately. I'll be at work driving up and down the country. But yes, Claudio will be here. What you got in? What have you got in store, Claudio? For Thursday?
Well, we'll be talking about our win against QPR, obviously. We've got Alex Craig coming on, who does his own podcast live from the ground. He's been doing it for years. I think Alex was possibly one of the first ones to do it for Coventry City. I can remember him doing it in League Two. I used to see him at away games a lot, and he's come on a lot. I'll tell you, I think he's pretty good. He's come on a lot since he started way back in League Two, and he may have started before that actually.
Yeah, he's very good. Yeah, he's very good.
But he's coming on Thursday. He's happy to come on, and we'll get his views on the game. It's always good to hear different views, and it should be entertaining as well. And myself and Vicky, and we've got Sheffield Wednesday, haven't we?
Yes, maybe have Sheffield Wednesday guest, hopefully.
Yeah. Not the one we had on before.
No, I think a different one, yes. Just a couple more just come up. I've just seen one up talking about Blackburn. Can we get Tom High on boat? That'd be nice.
He doesn't got the pace that we want at the back. He wouldn't add anything pace-wise.
No, that's true. Very true. And then Ben Green said, thanks for the show all. Cheers, lads. See you Tuesday. Alex Craig, top podcast, says Paul Stratton. So, Lee Beckett, any news on Goodwin coming on? Claudia?
Goodwin?
I don't know which Goodwin that is. Godden, that should be, not Goodwin.
Oh, Godden.
He's corrected it. Godden. Well, hopefully, I mean, we've put the feelers out on that one, so hopefully we'll get a bit of an answer back on that shortly. So, Matty Godden would be a great guest to come on the show, and I'm sure he still loves Coventry City, so I'm sure he'll have a few stories to tell.
Yeah, and Stephen Presley said he'll come on the show anyway, so that's a definite. I just need to tell him when. So that'd be good as well. We can just talk to him about whichever game it is, and also people can ask him questions.
Yeah, why not?
But,
right, okay. Next game is Tuesday evening. Very important game against Queen's Park Rangers, so we all have to get up there and get behind the lads. Hopefully have a good attendance. I'm not sure if it's going to reach 30,000, but I'm sure we can get to at least 25, 26,000 up there, which has been on average this season, hasn't it, I think? And get an atmosphere, get a couple of early goals and get the crowd behind us. That's what we need, and which hasn't happened, obviously, the last couple of matches, which have been disappointing. So if we can get 3 points on Tuesday, that would be brilliant. Jack, thanks very much for coming on, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much for having me. Pleasure as always.
Anytime, mate, no problem. Claudio, thank you as always.
Cheers. This new camera makes me look like I've got lippy on.
I'm not sure if you look very red-faced in that camera.
Yeah, the heating's full on, basically. There's something wrong with the gas meter. We're just taking advantage of it at the minute.
Yes, well, why not? Miles won't be here Thursday. He's got the commitments on Thursday, but he will be back hopefully on the following Sunday with us and the following Thursday. But Claudio will be in the chair on Thursday evening, so join him, and hopefully he'll be talking about 3 points in the bag against QPR. So let's all hope for that, and hope we wish Grimes a good full debut. I think he'll start. I think it'd be mad not to start him. To be honest, he's got to start. You've got to start your good best players when you need them, and we certainly need him now. So hopefully that happens. Right, that's it then. Thanks very much, everybody, and we're going to say a big play up Sky Blues, and a very good night to you all. Thanks for all the comments, and see you at the CBS on Tuesday and the next live show Thursday. Good night.
Play up Sky Blues.
Sky Blue Fans TV, for the fans, by the fans. Town.